I'm going to set up this student paper in basic APA format using Microsoft Word 2011 for Macs. One of the writing consultants in the Writing Center generously shared his paper. For the purposes of this tutorial, I made some changes to the paper, including stripping out footnotes and altering other parts of the paper. First, I'm going to go up to the View menu. I want to make sure that Print Layout is selected, which it is. Next, I'm going to select what Microsoft calls the ribbon, which provides me with a variety of formatting options. If I want to make the ribbon go away, I can click on the Home tab. Just as quickly, I can bring it back by clicking on the Home tab again. Next, I'm going to go to the Layout tab. I want to make sure that my margins are 1 inch all the way around, top, bottom, left, and right, which they are. Our next task is to change the text in the body of the paper. First, I'll go up to the Edit menu and choose Select All so that all of the text is highlighted. Next, I'll go to the Home tab. I'm going to change the Cambria font to Times New Roman, which is required for APA style. I want the font size to be 12, which it already is. Next, I'll go here under Paragraph to Line Spacing and select Line Spacing Options. For this Line Spacing drop-down menu, I'll select Double. We want to make sure that we have no space between the paragraphs, so under Spacing here to the left, under After, we want to change that 10 point to 0. I'll go ahead and click on the OK button. And I'll click here at the beginning of the text to deselect it. I'm going to center the title, so I'm highlighting it. I'm going to go up here under Paragraph and select the Center Text tab, so the title is now centered. Notice there is no extra line spacing between the title and the first paragraph. Notice also that you don't put quotation marks around your own title. You also don't use underlining. This particular writer is discussing a longer work called The Second Treatise, so he has put that part of his title in italics. Notice also that this title is in title case, which means that every word is capitalized at the beginnings of the words, with the exception of articles, conjunctions, and prepositions. So here on and on over here are not capitalized. If you had an article or conjunction or preposition starting the title, you would capitalize that first word. You'll always capitalize the first word. If you had a colon in your title, then the first word after the colon would also be capitalized. Next, I'm going to insert a title page and an abstract page before the body of my paper. Your instructor may not require you to do an abstract page, but for the purposes of this tutorial, we'll show you how to do that. You'll want to check with your instructor to see what the specific expectations are for your paper. So here I have my cursor blinking before the first word in the title. That's what I want. And then I'm going to go to the Document Elements tab. Under Insert Pages, I will click on Break, followed by Page. And notice that a new page has been created before the body of my paper. I'll go to the top of the page. My cursor is already blinking in the middle, which is what I want. I'm going to type the word abstract. That will be the title for my abstract page. Notice I'm here at the very top. That's what you want. I'll press the Return key. And now I'll go to the Home tab and under Paragraph select Align Text Left. I'm ready to begin the paragraph that would be the abstract. The abstract is a summary of your paper. Typically it is 150 to 200 words. Again, you should check with your instructor specific expectations for the abstract. So we're ready now to leave behind the abstract. Obviously we don't have a complete abstract here, but you get the idea in terms of formatting. But we are ready to add the title page. And so I have clicked so that my cursor is blinking in front of the word abstract, and I'm ready to insert the title page. So once again, I will go to the Document Elements tab, and under Insert Pages, select Break followed by Page. So now you can see another page has been inserted, again this time before the abstract page. I'll go to the top. Once again, you'll see my cursor is blinking in the middle. I'm going to press the return key a few times. I want my title to start partway down the page. Now, one of the tricks you can use is to simply copy and paste your title from the body of your paper. So I'm going to go back down past the abstract back to the body of the paper where the title appears. I'll highlight it and go to the Edit menu and select Copy and deselect the text. I'll go back to the title page and get to that point in the paper where I want to put the title, about a third of the way down the page, and go to the Edit menu and select Paste. So now it has put in the title for me. I'm going to press the return key once. I will type in the student's name, press the return key again, and type in the name of the school. This is what you want for APA style. Notice everything is consistently double spaced. Everything is centered. Now, some instructors may require you to put in an author note, and this would appear approximately here in your paper. And again, you will want to check with your instructor to see if he or she requires an author note, but usually they're not necessary for student essays. You can find information about the author note on the Purdue Online Writing Lab website, or you can check the APA manual. Next, we're going to create a running head for the title page, and we'll also create a slightly different running head for the rest of the pages in the paper. I'll create a running head for the title page. First, I'll go up to the View menu. I'll select Header and Footer. You'll now see a purple tab entitled Header and Footer. I'll click on it. Under Options, I'll select Different First Page, checking the box here. Remember, we're creating not only a running head for the title page, but a separate one for the rest of the pages as well. Here in the header where my cursor is blinking, here on the left, I will type the words running head, followed by a colon, press the space bar once. Now I'll type a shortened version of the title in caps. I'll point out a few things. Normally you wouldn't have any italics in the running head, but because the title of the paper refers to this longer work, the second treatise, which is in italics, it is also in italics here. You'll notice that the words running head are not in caps. Only the first word is capitalized at the beginning of the word. Your title here in the running head should not exceed 50 characters, including spaces. Next, I'll go up to the Format menu. I'll select Tabs. I'm going to get rid of these two tabs. I'll click on the Clear All button. I'm going to create a new tab. So here at the tab's top position, I will type in 6.5. Under Alignment, I will select Right. I'll click on the Set button, click on OK. And here where my cursor is blinking after the 8, I'll press the Tab key once. It now takes me to the new tab I created. You can see my cursor is blinking here on the far right. I'll go up to the header and footer area and select page number. It automatically inserts the correct page number. Next, I'm going to highlight all of this text in the header, including the page number. I'll go to the Home tab. I'm going to replace the Cambria font with Times New Roman, which remember we also did for the body of the paper. It also needs to be done in the header. The font size should be 12, which it is. The next thing I'm going to do is to select that shortened title and the page number. I'm going to copy it to use for the second running head that we'll create. So I'll go up to the Edit menu and select Copy. I'll deselect this text. Notice that I didn't copy the words running head because for the second running head that we're creating, you do not include those words. I'm going to scroll down to the abstract page. Notice there's no header created here yet because we're going to do that right now. I have clicked here in the header area, so my cursor is blinking here. I will go up to the Edit menu. I'll select Paste. With the copy and paste, I have put in the shortened version of the title. It has put in the correct page number. Again, we do not have the words running head. That's how the second running head is different. You will see that the same running head appears on the rest of the pages. So that's how you create running heads. I'm here on page 3 of the paper. Remember, we inserted the title page in the abstract, so that moved the beginning of the body of the paper down to page 3. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on in-text citations, just to point out a few things. Originally, this student used footnotes in his paper. That's not standard APA style. You always want to pay attention to what your instructor wants, even if the instructor varies from the standard expectations for the style. So I put my cursor right here where I would insert a footnote. I'm just going to show you how to do that in case you need to know. I'll go to the Document Elements tab and I will click on Footnote under Citations. It automatically inserts a small raised one where I want the footnote to be, and it connects to the actual footnote down here at the bottom. It's automatically inserted a corresponding one. And here is where you would type the text of your footnote. Now, I don't want to include footnotes with this paper because, again, that's not standard APA style, so I'm going to get rid of that. Instead, I'll show you what is more typical, what is expected for citing sources in the body of your paper in APA style. We'll look at this example briefly. It begins in section 95, Locke says, beginning quotation mark, the majority have a right to act and conclude the rest, etc. I'll go to the end of the quotation here, by the will and determination of the majority, unquote, and then in parentheses the year 1986, space, P period space 55, ending parentheses, ending period. I'll point out a couple of things here. In APA style, you always include the author's last name and the year. And when you quote, you also include the specific page number. So that's what that P stands for, page. For paraphrases and summaries, you don't need to include the page number, although the APA style does encourage you to use it. APA style, whether you're quoting, paraphrasing, or summarizing, expects you to include the author's last name and the year at minimum. There is no period here, even though there may have been a period in the original text. You only include the period at the end of your sentence. That's because you are integrating this quotation into your own sentence. So that's just one example. Another way that this student writer could have done this is to just have the page number here, and up here after the author's name, put in the date in parentheses here. You often see this, the author's name followed by the year in parentheses. And so that's another way that this writer could have cited the source. I'm going to move down to the references at the end of the paper. And we're going to format them. Now I've got my cursor blinking here in front of the word references. A lot of students are tempted to press the return key several times in order to get the references to start on a new page. That's not what you want to do. Instead, you want to use that insert page break feature which we've been using throughout this tutorial. So with my cursor blinking right here, I should be in the Document Elements tab, as I'm shown here. Under Insert Pages, I'll select Break followed by Page. And that automatically puts my references on the next page at the very top, which is what you want. I'm going to highlight the title, References, and center it. So I'll go to the Home tab, and under Paragraph, select Center Text. Next, I'm going to put these sources in a hanging indent, so I'm going to highlight all of them. Don't highlight the rest of your paper, only the sources under References. Okay. So I'm going to go to the Format menu at the top here. I'll select Paragraph, and under Special, the little drop-down menu here, I will select Hanging. Click on the OK button. You'll now see that there is a hanging indent for each of the sources listed here. Only the first line for each source is not indented. The second and third lines for these sources are indented, which is what you want. I'll point out a couple of things about these sources. In APA style, you list the sources by last name in alphabetical order. You'll notice that the first name is not spelled out. Instead, you get the initials, followed by the year in parentheses. For scholarly articles, you use sentence case, in which you capitalize only the first word and any proper nouns. Journal titles are italicized, and here's something you may not have realized. The volume number, in this case 10, should also be italicized. The issue number, however, which immediately follows the volume in parentheses, is not italicized. So something to keep in mind, the volume is always italicized, but not the issue number. So that's how you set up a paper in basic APA format. For additional help with the APA style, consult the Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association, 6th edition. You can also consult the APA section of your grammar handbook or the Purdue Online Writing Lab website. Of course, you can visit your local writing center. We can help you with a variety of styles, including APA, Chicago, and MLA, as well as other styles. University of South Dakota students, staff, and faculty who are on campus can visit the Writing Center in IDWeek's library, room 133, on the west side of the Academic Commons. USD distance students can seek help in the online Writing Center in D2L. For more information about the Writing Center, visit link.usd.edu/Writing Center.